I've been wanting to share my journey since we released it to the public 5 years ago, but I never had it in me. I figured I would let it pass and eventually I wouldn't feel the need to share the true meanings behind some of these songs. Some of them are simply songs with fictional characters, stories, and in the end are nothing more than a melody. Some of them and the story behind them have left me with a bruised heart. I kept putting it off as I didn't want to tarnish anyone's name or allow people into my private space. I didn't want to share such intimate secrets that led me to write some of these lyrics. Until now. I haven't been ready to talk about them. I'm now ready to close this chapter in my life. I'm willing to open my book and allow you to read some of my darkest secrets and finally turn the page in my empty diary. So Empty Diary is an album we released in July 2015. It is 5 years old. I worked on it with Manolis Youtube. And how the journey began is Manolis had messaged me. He saw me on YouTube and we've been following each other since 2009, 2010. I didn't know him that well, but he had messaged me and he says, how about we do a song together? I wasn't quite sure at the time because I was only posting comedy videos. I was doing that for about 5-6 years on YouTube, and I rarely posted music. And so I decided to say yes, and we threw a few songs back and forth until we decided to do a cover of Imagine Dragons' Demons. And we got pretty good feedback on that, and people seemed to like our voices together, and it went well. After a while, it was maybe like a couple of weeks or a month after we posted that video, he said, okay, are you ready to do an original now? And I was like, wow, this is a big step for me because I haven't performed on stage or in front of live audiences singing in over 20 years. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to put myself out there. With comedy on YouTube, it's quite different. You don't really care what people say. But I thought, okay, let's try this. And he said, all right, do you have any lyrics you can send me? And I had a lot of lyrics stashed away from 20 years ago. And when I was going through them, I said, you know what? We're going to work on a new song. Let's work on a new song. So I wrote new lyrics, and that's how we came about with the first song that we wrote together, which was called Killing Me. Where the lyrics came from, at the time, I was very good friends with somebody, and I felt friendship dissolving very quickly. It seems I was always there for that person, but whenever I needed that person, I was put on the back burner, and I was pretty angry at the time and hurt, and that's how the lyrics for Killing Me came about. I sent him the lyrics, and we decided that would be a duet because it was my first time really putting an original out there, and I sort of needed support, and he was there to sing it as a duet with me. I was shit scared because I didn't know how people would react to it. I sent over the lyrics I wrote, and he came back with this great piece of music, and he did his part, I did mine. At the end, we decided to put some harmonies, and there's like a 4 or 5 vocal harmony. And I had messaged him, and I said I want it to sound or feel like Magic Man by Heart, the ending. And I think we achieved it to some point. So that was really cool.
Killing Me was the first song that we did with Al, an original song, because we had made a cover together a few months back. When I first met Al on YouTube, he wasn't making any music actually, but he had a couple of videos that he was singing, and I thought, wow, this guy can sing. So I had, I wanted to do something with him, to add music, And when we started talking, he told me that he was in a band and he was writing lyrics back then. And then he had a really hard time with a friend, that he wasn't actually a friend. But, I told me, can you write the lyrics and send me to make something? And when he sent me the lyrics, I was amazed. Wow, these lyrics are awesome. And I had this tune in my mind, you know. Can I have a minute of your time? And we decided to sing it together. Um, the song turned out really beautiful. In my mind, with the arrangement, I wanted to be, you know, with violins, cellos, and stuff. I wanted to have a lot of vocals in it, you know. And yeah, pretty much that's the story of Killing Me. It was the start, it was the beginning of writing songs with Hal, and it was the beginning of writing his first album. Yeah, it was such a good journey.
When we finally posted it to YouTube, I was starting to get a bit scared because I didn't know what people would comment or how they'd react to it. And right away, within the first 2 days, we get some comment from somebody that neither of us knew saying that we were devil worshippers, and it was obvious in the video. We laughed off the comment because neither of us knew this person, and when we looked at his channel and stuff, we realized he was a Bible thumper, and I'm not sure how he got the impression that it was about Satan, but it was just about a friendship dissolving, and that was my best way to express myself, was through the song Killing Me. So after we uploaded Killing Me and we got the reaction we got, and we were happy with it, Manolis messaged me again. He says, okay, let's work on another original. At that time, I didn't know there was going to be an album happening yet. I agreed to the original, and then he says, hey, let's work on a whole album. And I was like, what? Really? And I at that time, I still had a hard time believing that this was going to actually happen. But it did eventually. And where did I go wrong? What happened with that one is he said, send me over some lyrics again. I had lyrics on my PC for about 6 months to a year. It was just the first verse or first 2 verses of the song. Usually when I start writing a song and I'm not inspired to finish the lyrics, I delete it and I don't go back. I really don't go back to it. But with Where Did I Go Wrong, somehow I really liked the first verse that I wrote, so I just kept it on my PC. And when he told me we're going to write another original, I went back to those lyrics and I realized, wow, okay, I could do this. And I finished writing the lyrics within 20 minutes because I knew that it was going to turn into something. And basically the song is about a fictional character who takes the wrong path in life with drugs, alcohol, not really based on anybody I know personally or my own life. So it's just a hard rocking song. The beginning of the song, I had messaged him I sent him over a vocal track, an audio track of me singing the melody and just snapping my fingers, and I said, maybe we could start the song off with finger snapping, just vocals, and then go into heavy guitars later. And I came up with the finger snapping at the beginning and the actual melody of the chorus. And he came back with this piece of music, and it was exactly what I wanted. And I was like, okay, man, this guy really gets me. He knows what I want. He understands me. And if I record audio for the song, if I record my vocals, and he comes back and he says, buddy, that was crap, or buddy, you went off key here, I appreciate that. He's so honest with that. And at that point, I realized, wow, out of all the musicians I worked with in the past, he is the one that made me feel more comfortable, the most comfortable out of everybody. And then I knew we would be able to complete this album because we worked so well together. I remember uploading a crappy video for Where Did I Go Wrong? And what happened with that is I got so excited, idiot that I am, so naive. I got so excited at the beginning because the video went up to like 5,000 views in a very short period of time. But then I realized, okay, the views stopped and now I'm only getting like 10 views a day as opposed to hundreds. And then I realized that I think somebody must have botted the video or tried to sabotage my new music channel. I truly believe that's what would happen with that. Yeah, and that was the story behind Where Did I Go Wrong?
Where did I go wrong? Well, this song At this point, I thought that it would be a good idea that we could make an album with Al. So he agreed. He was kind of, didn't know if he wanted to. It was, but anyway, yeah. Long story short, and he sent me the lyrics for "Where Did I Go Wrong," and also he had a tune in his mind. He sang to me. He sent me a track with just his voice singing the melody, and yeah, it was such a challenge for me because I never did such hard rock songs before. This is a hard rock song. It has just a feel from the good old sound rock, he sang a cappella the intro, and then I went with my guitar. And the whole song built in this kind of sound, the 70s, late 60s, 70s rock, pure rock sound. I think it also turned out really good. Beyond my expectations, he sang it with a brilliant rocking voice, I was really, really satisfied with the outcome of this song. Yeah, it was really good.
The second track on the album is Miranda. I wrote Miranda back in 1990 with another band that I was playing with at the time. And I remember Concrete Blonde released their CD Bloodletting, and the title track from that album was about a vampire, and I thought, wow, a vampire song, this is so cool, I gotta write a song about a vampire. So that's what I did with Miranda. You can't really tell it's about a vampire if you just read the lyrics, but basically Miranda is a vampire who finds her men, kills her men so she could live on forever, but then she falls in love with somebody and decides to take her own life before she takes his. And that's where that came from. I remember we were sitting in a garage, and I was with a drummer and the guitar player. We were auditioning bass players, and a bass player came in to audition for us, and he was just tuning his bass, and at one point I was alone in the room with him, and he played boom boom, and I said, play that again, and he was looking at me really strange. I said, just do it again, and he went boom boom, and I said, okay, now go boom boom, boom boom boom, boom boom. And that's how the melody, or the beginning of Miranda, came about. The original version of Miranda was very heavy, was really dark and alternative, and when we played it live, the chorus was like crazy. It was a double bass drum, and it was just insane. It was nothing like what you hear now. So I had sent Manolis, I think 5 4-track recordings from the late 80s, early 90s, and he listened to them, and he said he's going to choose one and recompose it. And he came back and he sent me this piece of music, and he says, I decided to do Miranda. And I swear to God, my eyes welled up with tears, because I always loved the song, and I never thought that it would be revived in such a way. And he came back with this beautiful, beautiful piece of music, and basically that's what happened with Miranda. And I think it's one of the people that bought the Empty Diary album. I think that's one of the favorites on the album. Yeah. And actually the title Empty Diary is from a lyric taken from the song Miranda. I last imagined you writing on the last page of your empty diary. Yeah, sad, sad, tragic vampire song.
Als has sent me about 4 or 5 tracks, I can't quite remember, of some recordings that I had a few years ago, many years ago, when he was in a band and yeah, stuff like that. And when I heard Miranda, I realized that I have to make this, to re-record the song with my perspective, you know. The song has nothing to do with the original one. Yeah, when I read the lyrics, I thought of it as a, you know, a really, you know, airy, flowing song. Miranda, you know, this whole instrumenting and the arrangement that I did in the middle of the song, and then I just wanted to have this airy feeling. And when I sent it to Al, and I was really nervous if he would like the new edition of the song, because it has nothing to do with the old one. And when he told me, wow, it's really good, I was really pleased that my perspective was a good one for now. And don't forget that we're coming from different, we're totally two different civilizations, you know, with different culture. I'm a Greek and he's a Canadian. So my thoughts on music and arrangement, they may be rock, but I have some Greek elements in it. Not at all songs, but you know. Anyway, but when we started to work together, we can see that this is really working out. That we really can work together, combining our cultures and stuff like that. So yeah, I was really pleased that he liked my edition, and I think it's a really good song, Miranda. Yeah.
Flowers in Our Hair was the third track on the Empty Diary album. Again, these lyrics I originally wrote, I believe, in '87. This was not a song that I ever performed live. I believe I sent Manolis a vocal track of the melody of how it used to go, and he came back with totally different music. Yeah, nothing like that. I was happy with what he came back with, because the original was pretty good, but it was very different. But after we did that song, Manolis told me it was his, after we released the album and did all the songs, Manolis told me that was his least favorite song on the album. I'm not sure why. He never told me. He said it was too harsh, but I don't understand that. Maybe too perky. I think it's the happiest song on the album. Yeah, it's just about a hippie woman who's got nothing going for her, but yet she always seems to be happy and always finds a silver lining in life. And so yeah, it's a positive song. For the video, I had different women from YouTube send me clips, and I put this video together. And I like the video aside from my part. I really messed my part up. The lighting was terrible. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, when you don't have professional video equipment, there's only so much you can do. I personally like the song, even though it's a happier song. Most of the Empty Diary album is very dark and very real, and this was just another fictional happy song that we put on the album.
Flowers in Our Hair. Do you really want me to talk about the song? No, I don't think so. Well, yeah, I'm not used to make happy tunes, you know. I wanted a happy tune. So I wrote a happy tune. That's all. Yeah, it's, as I told Al, it's my least favorite song of the album. I know it's my music, but I don't like it. But Al really, and I guess many people like this when he uploaded it on YouTube. I don't know why. I guess that I'm the weird guy here, not the others, that I didn't like the song. But yeah, it's a song. I'm glad that I like the song. I'm glad that people like the song. So my opinion doesn't count, I guess. Yeah. Skip. I just yeah. Anyway, got it.
Ballad of the Dark was track 4 on the Empty Diary album. This is the most personal song on the album. The title refers to myself. The Dark was my stage name between the age of 16 and 18 or 19. That's the name I went by. Basically, I wrote this song trying to convince a younger me that life is going to turn out okay and you're going to be happy one day. I was a very unhappy kid. From my early childhood to about the age of 16, 17, I was miserable, I was suicidal, with good reason. there was a lot of things going on in my life at that time that I couldn't understand because I was too young. And by the time I was 13, I rebelled, and I was a good kid, but I was very quiet, and I didn't really trust anybody. Some of the lyrics in the song you probably wouldn't understand, but they mean something to me, and I wrote it for myself. So there's a lyric that says the ashtray's full with bruises that you have collected. And basically, I started smoking at 13 years old because I wanted to rebel and I wanted to be grown up. And that's what that line means. And there's another line that I put in there, your soul is as dark as coal. But that's, you know, I really, my cat's gonna tip over the camera any minute. Your soul's as dark as coal it was basically because I didn't trust anybody at that time in my life. And there's only very few people that know what I went through in my life, and no kid should have to go through what I went through. I don't like to revisit it. I don't share my story with many people. Not many people know everything about me. Only a handful of people know. And yeah, that's what this song meant to me. And it's hard to talk about any of it or any of the personal aspects as to where it came from. But basically, yeah, that's what it was about. When Manolis recorded the music for it and he sent it back to me, I was like blown away. It was such a beautiful piece of art, and I couldn't wait to put it on the internet to make it public. But when he sent it back to me, I was very ill. I wasn't, I was having an arthritis flare up, and I remember when he sent back the song to me, yeah, bloopers. When he sent the song back to me, I couldn't film a video because I couldn't walk at the time. I was with a walker, I believe, and my ankles and legs were swollen to shit. And I remember hitting record on the video. I was just sitting at the desk. I was so pissed because I had a whole video planned out, a whole storyline planned out for the song.
It is a song with such an amazing feeling in the lyrics. It has a huge meaning to all. It's such a personal song. When he sent me the lyrics, I couldn't actually get the meaning of the lyrics. I could see that there was something personal in that, but I couldn't understand what, you know. Yeah, so I spoke with Hal. He told me his story, and wow, it was amazing. And of course, I just thought of making a really good slow ballad with high ending vocals, and you know, I know it was hard for Al to sing this piece, and even harder to record the video, but it was a really great time at the time that we wrote the song. Yeah, and I was amazed by the feeling and the passion that he put in his singing. You know, it was such a personal song for Al, and yeah, I believe it turned out really great. And Al just trusted me to make whatever I want with music, and that I really do appreciate with singers. You know, yeah.
Ballad of the Dark is Al's letter to his younger self. You can tell without going into too much detail. He doesn't go into too much detail, but you can tell there has been a traumatic past. What is best left to Al? But we can understand that it was not a good space. And also a great request that the shadow of the past memories, can they be the mirror that holds him up and helps him find more strength for himself. And we're not talking strength of anger, that when the memory of younger selves come up, and people who have gone through trauma understand this, that sometimes our shadows come up to remind us of where we need to nurture ourselves, where we need to go. Instead of face the ghost, we need to go around and go, hi, what's wrong, how can I help you, and sometimes can I give you a hug. I know that some people will think that's crazy, but this song is one of those songs that you could use in that time. To be gentler, to ease yourself into love and release. And it's just powerful in that aspect. The sheer honesty in the song and the pathos that's given musically, it's one of the reasons why it stays with me. It also stays with me because it can be easily a love song. Not only a love song to yourself, but a love song between two people that hold a unique space for each other. Not necessarily romantic. It's just that there's a spiritual connection between the two, and that they hold a great kindness and empathy for each other on some level, and a profoundness in their affections towards each other. It's one of those songs that the more you try to explain it, the more you render yourself speechless. This is a song you need to feel.
When he sent the song back to me, I really wanted to make a video that would... I had a storyline built up in my head, and it was going to be an amazing video, but I couldn't walk at all at the time. I was so sick. But I wanted to get it out there because I was so excited, so I filmed a really plain video sitting at my desk, and I remember I had to film it twice because the first time I filmed it, the song was so personal that I started bawling my eyes out and I just couldn't get through it. So the second time I did better. I would have uploaded the first version, but I had really ugly face, like tears coming. It was really gross, so that didn't happen, but I'm really happy I did the song, and I don't know how much you can get of it from reading or listening to the lyrics, but I know what it means to me, and I think Manolis created a really, really beautiful piece, and I wish more people would hear it. Just, you know, I'm really proud of that one. Number 13 is track 5 on the Empty Diary CD. It's again, these lyrics were written back in 89 or 90. The original version of the song was performed live back then. It was similar but different. The chorus was very similar, I believe. The verse and the bridge were very different. I had tried to explain to Manolis what it originally sounded like, and he got the chorus part right, so I was happy with that. It's a hard rock song. It's not about anything. It was sort of like a dark comedy song, but not really funny. And there's usually my songs have hidden messages behind the lyrics. This one doesn't. It's really about what I'm singing about, which is being stuck in an elevator and having a phobia and thinking you're gonna die in that elevator. And yeah, it's a bit of dark comedy, not for somebody who actually has that phobia, but for me, that's how I wrote it. And yeah, there's not much more to tell on number 13. The song doesn't, unfortunately, it doesn't really mean anything to me. The lyrics don't mean anything to me. It was just a song. But I'm glad we did it. It was a hard rocking song, and I believe that's one of Manolis' favorite songs on the album.
Number 13. Well, the story about the song. Al told me that he performed this live back in late 80s, something like that. And he sent me a cappella version of it. And I kept the chorus as it was, and I put a new twist on the verses and the bridges and stuff like that. Thankfully, I liked what I did with the music and with the changes I made. And it's another hard rock song.
The video was totally insane. I said, okay, let's play around with demonic images and stuff and make it crazy. Again, low production, crappy video, but I wanted to do it that way so people would try to analyze a song and think that it's about something else, but really it's not. It's honestly about being stuck in an elevator. That's it. Sorry. Angels Cry is track 6 on the album. Angels Cry is a song about child abuse. I don't think there's many songs out there, not that I know of, about child abuse. I remember Hell is for Children by Pat Benatar, and I wanted to do a song about this because this is why I kept procrastinating, putting off making this video. You know, when you're young, you feel ashamed to come out and say, I was abused, but for any kids, if anybody's listening out there, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. When you're younger, you don't realize what's happening to you, and as you get older, you know, I think back and I think, wow, you know, I'm at the age that these people that hurt me were at when I was very young. And you grow up with no self-esteem, you grow up with not wanting to live, you grow up not understanding the human race or people, and you grow up not trusting anybody. And I usually have my guard up.
Angels Cry. A deeply emotional song. Lyrics that I wrote are touching a really sensitive matter, you know. And I don't know if the music that I wrote gave justice to the lyrics. At least I tried. It's a really powerful ballad, you know. But the lyrics, wow, no. I don't know what to say more about Angels Cry. It really touches me deeply, and yeah, Al did a really wonderful job showing this issue to the world that listened about angels crying, you know. If you listen to the song again, find the deep meaning of the lyrics.
There's a lot of people out there that appear nice and people like them, but behind closed doors they're actually somebody else. Again, I don't want to get too much into detail about what happened to myself because I don't share that part of my life with many people. But I was abused in many ways by different people. The verbal abuse was disgusting, and no kid should ever have to hear words that I've heard. The physical abuse was horrible. When you're young and somebody tries to kill you a couple of times, it stays with you and you're scarred for life. And different things that were done for me have scarred me for life, and I was talking to a friend recently about it, and you know, and people wonder when they hear your story, how do you go on? And I almost didn't go on because I had nobody to talk to about it, and I kept it all inside what was going on. And how do you go on is basically you have to forgive. You don't forget, you never forget, but you have to forgive or else you can't go on. So any other people that hurt me that have died, if there is a God, I just pray that God has forgiven them. I'm not very religious, but that's all I can say with that. It's a very hard subject. Getting back to the song, I wrote the lyrics. Some of the lyrics in the song are very harsh, and I wanted to get my point across, and I wanted the abusers to hear the song and then realize how they're affecting the kids that they do it to. You mess kids up, man, and it's got to be known. I mean, I don't know if these people have any empathy or if they realize what they're doing. Again, I didn't. I just wrote the lyrics, sent them off to Manolis. One of the lines in the song is very harsh. I can't even remember exactly what it is. I'd have to listen back. It's something about maggots eating your eyes. I just wanted to be really harsh, and I wanted the abusers, I wanted to get the point across to them what you're doing to these kids or how you're hurting people. And there are kids that take their lives because they have nobody to talk to, but if there's any kids out there watching, I want you to know that there are people that you can trust out there. There are people you can talk to, and you have to talk about it or else you'll never get by. You have to. Manolis composed music to it. Again, it's a rock ballad, and it turned out really well. Unfortunately, I don't listen to the song too often. Maybe since the album's been released in 5 years, I probably went back to listen to Angels Cry 10 times in 5 years. It's just a very hard song to listen to. Track 7, I believe, on the album is In This Room. In This Room is actually my favorite song on the album. Probably one of my favorite songs that we've written together because we released 2 albums together, and we have about 22 or 23 originals out, and In This Room's got to be one of my favorites. I wrote the lyrics, and I was like reading back the lyrics, and I said, how the hell do I come up with these things? I think they're my favorite lyrics that I've written, one of my favorites, and the music, forget it. I sang the vocal melody again to Manolis, and I sent him what I want the bass line to sound like at the beginning, boom, 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 and he did exactly what I had pictured, and it turned out amazing. I think it's amazing. It's unfortunate that this type of music doesn't work today because, you know, it's not really mainstream and stuff, but I really loved it. I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of pop and new wave in the 80s, and I also listened to a lot of punk, Ramones, Susie and the Banshees, stuff like that. And I think In This Room probably belongs in that category. And I remember, I remember when he sent the music back to me, I was like blown away. I said, I love this. But then when I had to sing my vocal track, I didn't realize how hard the chorus was going to be able to sing. I mean, the chorus is welcome in, right? Those 2 words, welcome in. I'd have to reach for my higher register to do those 2 words, and I couldn't do it with a clear voice. I had to go raspy to get it out, basically scream it. And it turned out that's how it was meant to be, I guess. I was paranoid at the beginning because I didn't know it was going to turn out the way it did. And when I got the final mix of the song, I was like, holy shit, this is good. Anybody who would have put out this song, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but anybody who would have put out this song, it would have been great. I'm so proud of that song, and if you like alternative stuff, and you should really listen to it, it's worth it, I'm telling you. The song basically is about, it was referred to online as my fuck you anthem to the world, which is basically right. It's basically a song about being mad at the world, and the lyrics stemmed from my experience with the friend that I had that I wrote Killing Me about. That inspired it a little bit, and that got me going, and one thing led to another, and then these lyrics came out, and I was like, where am I pulling this stuff out of? My favorite line in the song is, in this ultrasonic room, I hear who you are. Ultrasonic room, you can't hear things, but I hear who you are, and I know what's going on in my head, and it's kind of warped, but I love it. At the beginning of the song, Manolis says, hey Al, why don't we put like crazy guitars going and screaming of some sort or something insane? And I said, I trust you, do what you need to do. And when he came back, I was like, well, what the hell is this? But then the bass line starts, and it's awesome. It's really awesome, and I wish more people would hear it.
In this room, well, what can I say about this song? Probably one of my favorites from the album. I don't have much to say. Lyrics, wow, they catch your soul, they catch your mind, just right, you know, just like that. Al's vocaling, Al's singing is out of this world in this one. And Al had a bass line in his mind, da-dum, da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da. And when he sent me the bass line and the lyrics, the whole thing came to me easily. One of these songs, you know, and in 10 minutes I had it written, you know. So yeah, and the video had some, you know, a twisted eye, you know, and some paranoia going in. Overall, it's a really good song. Yeah, a really good song.
Track 9 on the album is called Wicked. An online friend of mine shared her personal life story with me, or an experience that she went through where she was with an abusive partner, and that inspired me to write Wicked. Again, it's a song about abuse again, but instead of children, it's about a woman being abused by her husband. Yeah, I wrote these lyrics in a very short time, maybe 10 minutes or so. This was one of the last songs we recorded for the album. No, actually, I think Wicked was the final song we recorded for the album. And Manolis sent back the music, and I thought it was really good. It reminded me of Ronnie James Dio music in a lot of ways. I recorded the vocals in one take, or 2 takes. I sent them over, and he says, great. And he mixed it, and that was it. And that was it. We put a video out there, and the person that inspired the song is in the video. I asked her if she wanted to be a part of the video because it is about her, or it's about her story, and so she agreed to it. So I'm appreciative of that. I gotta learn how to talk.
The worst part of it is the mind game stuff. You know, how they all twist into saying, I'll never do it again. And you know, really, it's going to build up to another case where you're going to be mentally screwed over, possibly pressured into acts you don't want to do, or money you have to hand over whether you want to or not. You know, lots of traumatizing things where there's an imbalance and abuse of power, to put it nicely. Yes, so you can imagine hearing that my story is in a song like that, and you know, that still wows me, and I hope that it does reach out and it does tell people that to rethink what domestic violence looks like. Don't look for the bruises, because some of them are rather internal, you know. Look at their mannerisms, you'll find out. You'll find out when they're brave enough to. And that's the thing, no one really understands how wicked it is to be trapped in it.
The Wicked Man. For some reason, when Al sings in high levels and high pitch, he reminds me of. It's a combination of many singers that I admire, such as Dio, Ronnie James Dio, and many others. And when I read the lyrics, I wanted to make a Ronnie James Dio sound like for the music, you know. It had that feel from the hard songs from Rainbow. But anyway, it isn't Rainbow. I wish I could try it like Rainbow, you know, but I can't. Anyway, I don't have much to say about the song. It was, once again, Al delivered it with such glory and such a great singing. And also the video, in the video of the song, another friend, a common friend of ours, Rebecca Tompkins, is appearing. She's a great artist as well. So yeah, it was. I was happy to see that three people that met on YouTube, collaborated and made a music video for Al. That was really good. Yeah.
The final song on the album is called Lisa's Lullaby. It was written for my wife. The reason I did this one was because every time my wife would hear my original stuff, you gotta understand, Lisa doesn't listen to what I listen to. She listens to more mainstream music, and I'll listen to heavy rock or alternative or punk, and she's not really into that stuff. And then she comes back to me and she says, well, all your songs, they're good, but they're very dark and gloomy. And can't you write something happy for once, or something that, you know, makes people happy? And I'm sorry, but up to my early 20s, I was a miserable person and I hated my life. And before I met her, I didn't know happiness. So anything that comes out of me is always dark and gloomy because that's what I'd lived. But I wanted to do this for her, so I figured, okay, let me write a sweet lullaby and a little romantic lullaby for her, and I wrote the lyrics literally 5 minutes, and I came up with the melody in literally 5 minutes, and I sang it and I sent it over to Manolis, and he came back to me, I remember, and he said, this is beautiful, leave it the way it is, close off the album with this track as an a cappella track, no music, it's just beautiful the way it is. And I went back to him and I said, I don't want to do an a cappella thing, I really want music. Can you do something like maybe with violins or something very simple, acoustic guitar? He came back with the music, of course, exactly the melody I asked for, exactly what I wanted. And I decided to close off the Empty Diary album with that as a tribute to my wife, and, you know, end it on a happy note.
And for the last song, Lisa's Lullaby. I know what Lisa means to Al, and when he told me he had a song for her, I told him that I don't want it to be full arranged. I just want it to be simple, like a lullaby, you know? And I just recorded one guitar, nothing else. And I really love the way it turned out. For me, it's one of my favorites as well in this album. Such a really wonderful way to express your love to your other half, you know?
Thanks for sticking around, guys. I hope you could take a minute to listen to the album. It's 5 years old now. I want to thank Manolis for giving me the opportunity, working with him and actually releasing an album, and also we did another one after this, for those of you who don't know. And what a great experience to work with somebody who understands you, who gets you, who knows what you want. You don't always get that with people you work with musically. So it's been an awesome, awesome experience, and I look forward to writing more originals and offering them to you.
Overall, it was a great, great adventure. I never thought that a guy that I met on YouTube would be a guy that I would make an album with. I would write hot songs to him, and of course, Al isn't just a singer. He's just a guy that I make music. He's a great, great, great friend. He's like a brother to me. So it was the start of something really big. More things to come, people. More things to come.
Thank you again. Everybody take care of yourselves. Respect each other. God bless.
Collecting particles that fell from your soul. wrap them up and give them back to you. Don't lose yourself to other hurtful ways. Always believe in what you do. And if you ever fall, skin your knees, I'll be here to catch you in your dreams. Your soul is a star that's cold. You're not to blame. You are left here to burn. When others go on with their lives, forget the pain they cause you. Remember every day with everything you do. I'll be your sun when the dark surrounds you. Surrounds you. The ashtray's full with bruises that you have collected. The room is filled with smoke and all was neglected. And if you ever love and hurt yourself, protect your foolish heart. Look right in front of you, I see a soul of strength. And when in doubt, remember what others see. A faded portrait, a broken picture of what I used to be. When others go on with their lives, forget the pain they cause you. Remember every day with everything you do. I'll be your sun when the dark surrounds you. Look in the far distance, there's a light. It may be out of reach, but it's there for you. Your pain hurts more than pain itself. You're not to blame. Shadows still over you. My son, when I am weak, will you say it for me? When I can't speak, the haunting voices, painful silence, will you be